parents out there, there's a worrisome trend we need to tell you about. More than 20% of teenagers admit to sending naked photos of themselves to other teens. It's called sexting. And in Florida, it's a felony. Philip Alpert found this out the hard way after sending naked pictures of his girlfriend to his friends. And Philip joins us live now. Philip, as we understand it, about a year and a half ago, you got into a fight with your girlfriend. And I guess to get back at her, you sent out a naked photo of her that she had sent to you to lots of people, including your buddies, her relatives, even some teachers. What were you thinking that day?
Well, actually, it wasn't my friends. What I did was I was really upset. It was early in the morning. I mean, not that it's an excuse, but I had her email address, and I just went in, I hit select all. I wasn't targeting, teachers or anyone specifically. It just happened that those people were in her email list.
I see. Okay, thank you. And as a result of this, of sending out this naked photo, you got in trouble, and you ultimately were convicted of a crime that you say went well beyond the act that you committed. What were you convicted of?
Technically, I was convicted of sending of child pornography.
You are now classified as a sex offender, and as a result, we understand you have been kicked out of college. You are on probation for 5 years. You had to register as a sex offender. You have to take a mandatory sex offender class for $1,500 a year. You're not allowed to use the internet. You're not allowed to live with your dad because he lives too close to a school. What has your life been like since this happened to you?
Well, just from what you mentioned there, you could probably imagine it's been bad, but knowing also that my neighbors come to my house and try to talk to me, make sure I'm not going to harm their children, that former friends of mine no longer wish to speak with me, family members are absolutely just, crushed because of this. Luckily, they've stood by me, but I know that I've hurt them at the same time, and it's not something that I ever wanted to do. It's something that I highly regret. I really do, and not just because I got in trouble, but because I know I hurt the girl, her family, and my friends and my family, too.
And do you think that the punishment fit the crime?
I don't. Not that I'm saying that I can justify this, not that I'm saying that I don't deserve a punishment, because I absolutely do. I just think that having to be a registered sex offender till at least the age of 43 and 5 years of probation and getting kicked out of college and being on a list for people that harm little kids and do sexual deviant acts towards very small children, I don't think that that is fair.
And yet, Philip, you pleaded guilty to this. Why did you plead guilty to child pornography?
Actually, I pleaded nolo contendere, I think it is. I did not plead guilty to it.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Let me bring in Peter Johnson Jr. here. He's our lawyer. He's on our set here. Yeah. You've heard this. This does sound disproportionate to the crime, doesn't it?
Well, I'm sympathetic. He seems like a nice young man who made a mistake. You had a lawyer when you pled no contest to the charge, right?
Yes, I did.
And the girl whose picture you sent around was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And you sent it to her parents and her grandparents and teachers, right?
Yes.
What do you think the right punishment would be? Because people are sympathetic to your plight. You seem like a nice young man. What should be done? And do you have a lawyer that's trying to undo this now?
Currently, I don't have a lawyer that's trying to undo this. I wish I did. Actually, when we pled to what we pled to, my lawyer did not know that I'd have to be registered as a sex offender. He had not read through what he was pleading me to.
Now, Peter, that's interesting. That's an interesting point that Philip makes. Is there some sort of malpractice that he can now rely upon if he didn't really know what he was pleading to and he didn't get good legal counsel?
If those set of facts are true, then there's arguably a case for malpractice. But a malpractice claim doesn't help this young man at this point. I think what he needs to do is reach out to, if he has the ability to hire a private lawyer, he should. If not, he should reach out to people that can provide those kind of services free for him and see if there's an opportunity to vacate the conviction based on poor legal advice. Those applications are made all the time in courts across the United States. At the same time, though, I think it has to be understood, and I think he understood it, and he's admitted it, what he did was very serious, and it was wrong.
And Philip, back to Peter's question to you, what would have been, do you think, an appropriate punishment?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not one of the lawmakers, but I don't think that the punishment that I've received is just. I'm supposed to be on this list so that I'm not going to harm, so that other people know that I'm not going to harm them or their children, so that they can watch out for me specifically. But I'm not going to go after someone's young children. I made a mistake, but I don't necessarily think that I deserve to be a sex offender, and I don't know what the punishment should be because, again, I'm not a lawmaker.
Do you think your former girlfriend was harmed by your conduct?
I'm sure she was, and I feel very guilty about that, and you may not believe that, but I do. I mean, I'm saying that so that maybe she can hear me, maybe somebody can hear me.
Did you apologize to her?
No, but that's because I'm not legally allowed to speak with her. If I was, I absolutely would apologize. I would do anything to apologize to her.
Can you do it right now?
The reason I'm reaching...
Would you apologize right now?
I'm so afraid that if I say that, somebody out there will decide that I'm having contact with her and will send me to jail. But I can say to everybody else, maybe not her specifically, but I can say in general, I am sorry. I know I hurt her. I know I betrayed her trust. And what I did to her was absolutely horrible. And I know I embarrassed her, and it was not anywhere near what I should have done after a fight that we had. It wasn't okay. I realize that.
Well, Philip, you certainly sound genuine and you sound sincere, and I hope that you can use some of Peter Johnson's advice here and get a new lawyer and get this looked at, because it certainly seems as though you have been more than adequately punished for having done that. And thank you for sharing your story to send all teenagers a message at just how dangerous this can be. Philip Alpert, we really appreciate it this morning.